Welcome to this explosive breakdown of one of the most shocking moments in British daytime television history. Picture this, it's a crisp autumn morning in October 2025, and the set of ITV's Loose Women is buzzing with its usual mix of gossip, laughter, and light-hearted banter. The panel, featuring the fiery Denise Welch, alongside regulars like Stacey Solomon and Nadia Sawalha, is ready for another lively episode. But today, something extraordinary is about to unfold. The guest of honor, none other than the legendary Rowan Atkinson, the man behind the bumbling brilliance of Mr. Bean and the sharp-witted Edmund Blackadder. At 70 years old, Atkinson is no stranger to the spotlight, but he's notoriously private, shying away from the chat show circuit like a cat from water. So, when rumors swirled that he was making a rare appearance to promote his latest project, a poignant stage adaptation of his classic comedy sketch, viewers tuned in by the millions, expecting witty anecdotes and perhaps a glimpse of that iconic Bean awkwardness. Little did they know, the airwaves were about to crackle with tension thicker than a London fog. As the theme music fades and host Christine Lampard introduces him with her trademark warmth, Atkinson steps onto the set, impeccably dressed in a tailored tweed jacket, his face a mask of polite reserve. The audience applauds enthusiastically, but there's an undercurrent of curiosity. Why now, after decades of dodging such formats? Denise Welch, ever the bold one with her unfiltered opinions and Geordie grit, leans forward with a gleam in her eye, ready to dive into the deep end. The conversation starts innocently enough, touching on Atkinson's illustrious career, from the silent hilarity of Mr. Bean to the satirical bite of Blackadder. He responds with measured charm, his voice a soft, deliberate drawl that hints at the comic genius beneath. But as the minutes tick by, the questions veer into personal territory, probing his reclusive lifestyle and rumored disdain for modern celebrity culture. Welch, sensing an opportunity for gold, presses on with a comment about how even Mr. Bean has to mingle with thus mere mortals sometimes. The studio chuckles, but Atkinson's smile tightens just a fraction, a telltale sign that the Bean is stirring beneath the surface. What follows is a masterclass in escalating drama, where polite discourse gives way to pointed barbs, and one man's quest for dignity collides head-on with a panel's pursuit of entertainment. As we delve deeper into this tale, prepare to witness how a simple chat spiraled into chaos, leaving jaws on floors and Twitter ablaze. This isn't just a TV mishap, it's a cultural collision that exposes the raw underbelly of fame in the age of oversharing. Stay with us as we unpack every heated word, every frozen stare, and the fallout that still echoes through the corridors of Broadcasting House. The seeds of discord are sown early in the segment, mere minutes after Atkinson's entrance, when the panel shifts from career highlights to the elephant in the room, his aversion to social media and the relentless glare of public scrutiny. Stacey Solomon, with her bubbly enthusiasm, asks if he's ever considered a Mr. Bean TikTok account, eliciting a polite but firm no, thank you from Atkinson, accompanied by a wry eyebrow arch that has the audience in stitches. Nadia chimes in with tales of her own tech struggles, keeping the vibe light. But then, Denise Welch seizes the reins, her voice laced with that signature mix of empathy and edge. Rowan, love, we've all seen how you've mastered the art of saying nothing with your face, she quips, referencing his silent comedy roots. But in this day and age, isn't it time to speak up? Like, really speak up about the issues that matter? Mental health. For Onia, you've been so quiet on that front, and with your influence, you could do wonders. The studio falls into a hush. It's a fair point, delivered with genuine concern, but Atkinson's response is a velvet-gloved rebuke. Denise, my work has always spoken for itself, he replies evenly, his eyes locking onto hers with an intensity that belies his calm tone. Comedy, true comedy, isn't about preaching from a pulpit, it's about holding a mirror to the absurdities of life without shattering it over someone's head. The applause is polite, but Welch isn't one to back down. She counters with a personal anecdote, recounting her own battles with depression and how public figures like him staying silent only perpetuate stigma. It's not about preaching, Rowana, it's about solidarity. We've got young fans watching, struggling, and your voice could be a lifeline. The exchange crackles now, the air thick with unspoken challenges. Atkinson, ever the gentleman, nods thoughtfully but doesn't yield. Solidarity is earned through action, not obligation, he says, his words measured like a surgeon's incision. I've chosen my battles carefully, and silence can be its own statement. Welch's laugh is sharp, almost disbelieving. Silence? On loose women? That's a first. The audience titters nervously, sensing the shift from banter to brinkmanship. Host Christine attempts to steer back with a segue to Atkinson's new project, but the damage is done. The gauntlet has been thrown. As commercials loom, the tension simmers, promising the return that's anything but tame. This moment, captured in grainy fan clips that would later go viral, marks the pivot from cordial interview to full-throated confrontation, revealing the chasm between old-school reserve and new-wave candor. In the annals of talk show lore, this exchange stands as a testament to how quickly admiration can curdle into antagonism when egos and ideals clash. And oh, what a clash it becomes. Post-break, the studio lights dim slightly for dramatic effect or perhaps to mask the rising temperature, and the panel reconvenes with forced joviality. Atkinson sips his water, his posture impeccable, while Welch adjusts her microphone with a flourish, her expression a blend of defiance and delight. The topic du jour is now Atkinson's stage show, billed as a retrospective of mirth and melancholy, blending Ben-esque physicality with Blackadder-sharp dialogue. Nadia gushes over the trailers, but Welch circles back like a hawk. Rowan, your show's got this theme of isolation in a connected world spot on, isn't it? But how can you critique connectivity when you won't even join the conversation yourself? It's a zinger wrapped in praise, and the audience leans in. Atkinson pauses, his fingers drumming lightly on the armrest of a tick that draws knowing laughs before responding. Denise, connectivity isn't measured by likes or retweets, it's in the quiet connections we forge offline. My characters thrive in solitude because that's where truth resides, unfiltered by algorithms. Welch leans forward, undeterred. Truth? Let's talk truth then. You've built an empire on awkwardness, on not fitting in, yet here you are, fitting right in until it gets uncomfortable. Is that the real Mr. Ben peeking through running from the mess? The studio gasps collectively. It's bold, bordering on brutal. Atkinson's face, usually a canvas of controlled emotion, flushes ever so slightly. Running? No, Denise. I'm choosing my stage. This one demands performance over authenticity, and I'm afraid I've performed enough for one lifetime. The words hang heavy, a subtle indictment of the format itself. Christine interjects with a laugh. Ooh, shots fired. But the levity falls flat. Welch presses on, her voice rising. Authenticity? That's rich coming from someone who's hidden behind masks for decades. We bare our souls here, Emes and Allah, and it's liberating. Maybe you should try it. Atkinson meets her gaze steadily. Liberation through exposure isn't for everyone. Some of us find freedom in restraint. The back and forth accelerates now, words flying like sparks from a flint. Welch accusing him of elitism, Atkinson countering with a defense of artistic integrity. The audience is split, some cheering Welch's rawness, others murmuring support for Atkinson's poise. Off camera, producers fidget. Whispers of wrap it up filtering through earpieces. But momentum has a life of its own, and this verbal joust is hurtling toward collision. In hindsight, eagle-eyed viewers note the subtle cues. Atkinson's tightening jaw, Welch's animated gestures growing more emphatic. It's the prelude to pandemonium, a symphony of simmering strife that crescendos into the outburst no one saw coming. This segment, dissected frame by frame in countless reaction videos, underscores a timeless TV truth. When guests guard their gates, hosts hammer harder, and the result is riveting ruin. The tipping point arrives like a thunderclap, midway through the heated volley, when Welch, fueled by passion or perhaps the adrenaline of live TV, crosses an invisible line. Rowan, darling, your silence on issues like mental health isn't restraint, it's privilege. You've got the world at your feet, and yet you leave us to shout into the void alone. Her tone is earnest, but the edge slices deep, implying not just reticence but abandonment. The panel falls silent. Even Stacy looks uncomfortable, fiddling with her notes. Atkinson's response is glacial, his voice dropping to a near whisper that amplifies its weight. Privilege? Denise, I've spent my life crafting escapes from the void you speak of, escapes that have brought solace to millions without a single sermon. To demand more is to misunderstand the gift entirely. Welch bristles, her reply tumbling out unchecked. Escapes? That's escapism, not empathy. Mr. Ben trips over life, he doesn't confront it. Maybe that's why you're so damn uncomfortable right now. Life's confronting you. The studio erupts in a mix of gasps and awkward applause, but Atkinson rises slowly, his chair scraping like a verdict. Uncomfortable? Number. Disrespected? Absolutely. I've come here in good faith, only to be prodded like a specimen. Thank you for the invitation, but I believe this performance is over. With that, he extends a hand to Christine, nods curtly to the stunned panel, and strides off set, leaving a vacuum that sucks the air from the room. Welch's mouth opens and protests to Rowan. Wait, that's Noda, but he's gone. The door clicking shut like a final punchline. Chaos ensues. The audience buzzes in disbelief, cameras swivel awkwardly, and producers scramble for a commercial break that feels eternal. Back from the ad, Christine's face is a study in diplomacy. Well, that was unexpected. Denise, your thoughts? Welch, composure cracking, stammers. I meant to spark discussion, not a departure. Rowan's a legend, I admire him deeply, but the damage is irrevocably. The feed cuts to B-roll of happier times, but social media ignites instantaneously. #Rowan walks trends within minutes, clips dissected by fans and foes alike. Was Welch out of line, weaponizing vulnerability for ratings, or did Atkinson overreact, his reserve masking fragility? The incident ripples outward, spawning memes have been storming off in tweet, think pieces on celebrity boundaries, and even a satirical sketch on Have I Got News For You. In the green room, whispers suggest Atkinson was whisked away by a waiting car, issuing no statement beyond a terse no comment to paparazzi. For loose women, it's a PR tightrope. Apologies issued, but the buzz boosts ratings sky high. This climax, forever etched in viral eternity, transforms a routine slot into legend, reminding us that beneath every icon lurks a human limit, and when it's breached, the fallout is fireworks. In the immediate aftermath, as the credits roll on that fateful episode, the airwaves and internet explode into a frenzy of opinions, recriminations, and reluctant reflections. ITV's switchboard lights up like a Christmas tree, with viewers split down generational lines. Older fans decrying Welch's ambush as disrespectful to a national treasure, while younger ones hail her as a truth-teller calling out boomer privilege. Twitter sorry, ZA becomes a battlefield, with hashtags like #StandWithRowan and #Denise did nothing wrong duking it out for supremacy. Celebrities weigh in. Stephen Fry tweets a measured defense of Atkinson's privacy, quipping, "Some bins are best left unspilled." Meanwhile, Corey alumna Kim Marsh, a loose women veteran, posts a supportive emoji string for Denise, underscoring the panel's sisterhood. Behind the scenes, damage control kicks into overdrive. Producers convene an emergency huddle, debating edits for the online upload. Should they trim the walkout for smoothness or leave it raw for authenticity? They opt for the latter, turning infamy into infotainment. Atkinson, true to form, vanishes into the ether, his agent releasing a boilerplate statement. Rowan enjoyed the early parts of the discussion and wishes the loose women team all the best. Welch, ever the fighter, goes live on Instagram that evening, makeup free and teary-eyed. "I pushed too hard, that's on me, but Rowan's work has meant the world to me. Blackadder got me through dark days. This wasn't about drama, it was about connection." Her vulnerability goes viral, humanizing the melee and softening some barbs. By evening's end, the clip racks up 10 million views, spawning parody accounts and deepfakes have been debating Welch and silent gestures. Pundits pile on. The Sunsplash has been stalks OFF across its front page, while the Times pens a thoughtful op-ed on the perils of therapy speak in entertainment. Ratings for the next episode surge 40%, proving scandal's silver lining. Atkinson, holed up in his Hertfordshire haven, reportedly chuckles over tea, confiding to a close friend that it was the most authentic Ben moment in years. So without the trousers. Whispers of a follow-up invite swirl, but sources close to him dismiss it as about as likely as Blackadder running for PM. This echo chamber of reaction cements the event's place in pop culture pantheon, a cautionary tale of when candor collides with caution, leaving both sides bloodied but buzzing. It sparks broader dialogues on mental health advocacy, the burdens of fame, and the tightrope walk of life where one wrong step sends shockwaves far beyond the studio lights. As the dust settles, one truth emerges: in the Game of Thrones that is daytime telly, no one wins unscathed. Weeks on, the Rowan Atkinson loose women saga lingers like a half-remembered dream, its tendrils weaving into the fabric of 2025's media landscape with unexpected grace and grit. Atkinson's stage show, ironically titled Silent Revolutions, sells out in hours post-incident, fans flocking not just for nostalgia but for a chance to cheer the man who dared to exit stage left. Reviews rave about its poignant exploration of isolation, with critics nodding knowingly to the Welch-inspired monologue on performative vulnerability. Denise Welch, meanwhile, channels the fire into her memoir sequel, Unfiltered 2, Clashes and Confessions, where a chapter dissects the dust-up with raw honesty, crediting Atkinson for forcing her self-reckoning. ITV, ever opportunistic, greenlights a making amends special, though Atkinson's polite demurral keeps it panel-only. A Welch-led therapy session disguised as chat, public discourse evolves too. Mental health orgs laud the unintended spotlight, launching #Speak Your Silent campaigns that credit both stars for amplifying the conversation, however acrimoniously. Atkinson's rare follow-up, a Radio 4 interview, is a masterstroke of minimalism. He thanks supporters with a single, Ben-esque anecdote about a fan's letter that said more than any tweet ever could. Welch responds in kind, guesting on a podcast where she admits, "I saw a bit of my own dad and him a stubborn, brilliant, bottled up, wish I'd bought him a pint instead of a prod." The feud fizzles into mutual respect, with off-record olive branches exchanged via mutual friends. Broader ripples touch comedy's core, up-and-coming comics cited as a blueprint for boundary setting, while talk shows tweak guest protocols, adding eject buttons for tense moments. In a twist of fate, a charity auction features a signed Mr. Bentetti from Atkinson, proceeds to Welch's favored calls us her thank you tweet, a simple heart emoji, melts the last ice. As November chills the air, the incident fades from headlines but endures in lore, a viral vignette that humanizes heroes and humbles hosts. It reminds us that beneath the glamour and gaffes, television thrives on the thrill of the unplanned and the heated word that heals as much as it hurts. So, here's to Rowan and Denise, two titans who turned a tiff into a touchstone, proving that even in the echo of an awkward exit, connection can quietly prevail. What a ride it's been, and what a script for the ages. Until next time, keep watching, keep questioning, and above all, keep the conversation going respectfully, of course. Fade to black on the thought, with a lingering laugh track echoing the absurdity of it all. Fast forward to the broader cultural autopsy, where academics and armchair analysts dissect the clash as a microcosm of generational warfare in the digital age. Sociology professors at universities from Manchester to Melbourne assign the viral clips and media studies courses, framing Atkinson as the archetype of analog-era restraint, a man who built a global empire on facial tics and timing rather than trauma dumps. Welch, conversely, embodies the confessional currency of Gen Z and millennial authenticity, where oversharing isn't indulgence but obligation. Peer-reviewed papers emerge with titles like From Being to Bearing All, The Semiotics of Silence and Celebrity Discourse, citing the walkout as peak performative dissonance. TikTok philosophers stitch together reaction montages, overlaying Atkinson's stoic stride with Welch's impassioned pleas, soundtracked to dramatic strings or ironic Mr. Ben remixes. The discourse spawns subcultures. Rowanists adopt minimalist avatars and cryptic bios, while Denisites flood comment sections with fire emojis and mental health resources. Even linguists weigh in, analyzing vocal fry versus clip-toxbridge vowels, concluding that the real battle was prosodical. Welch's rising inflections clashing with Atkinson's falling cadences like tectonic plates. Late-night hosts mine the moment for months. Jimmy Fallon does a Ben impression storming off his own set, while Graham Norton invites Welch for a reconciliatory gin, only for her to quip, "If Rowan wants tea, he knows where the kettle is." The incident inspires a West End play, Exit, pursued by a Welch, a meta-comedy where actors playing actors debate the ethics of ambush interviews mid-performance. Merchandise floods at mugs reading "I'd rather been silent" sell out alongside "Keep It Welch" tote bags. Politicians, never ones to miss a bandwagon, reference it in Parliament. A Tory MP decries the loose women tendency in cancel culture debates, while a Labour backbencher praises Welch's working-class candor. The BBC commissions a documentary, When Bins Boiled Over, featuring unseen backstage footage, Atkinson calmly asking for his coat while a producer pleads, 5 more minutes. Cut to Welch in the loose, splashing water on her face, muttering, "Bloody hell, Denise." The film wins a BAFTA for Best Factual Chaos. Naturally, through it all, the core question lingers, in an era where every silence is scrutinized and every scar shared, who gets to opt out? The Atkinson-Welch watershed redraws those lines in neon, proving that sometimes, the most powerful statement is the door closing behind you. The commercial fallout proves as fascinating as the cultural one, with brands scrambling to align or distance themselves in a masterclass of corporate tightrope walking. A luxury watchmaker, long associated with Atkinson's understated elegance, quietly renews his ambassador contract with a clause for dignified exits in all future appearances. Conversely, a mental health app backed by Welch sees downloads spike 300%, her tearful Instagram livery purposed as an ad with the tagline "Real Talk Start Here." Supermarket stock limited edition Ben Welch ready meals, a silent curry for him, spicy Geordie stew for Hera sales split evenly along demographic fault lines. Streaming platforms bid for rights to the unedited footage, with Netflix winning and titling the special "Loose Lips, Tighter Scripts," the walkout that wasn't in the rundown. Viewer discretion warnings precede the stream, but binge raids shatter records, prompting spin-off podcasts where ex-producers spill beans, pun intended, about pre-show vetting failures. "We asked for career highlights, not childhood traumas," one laments. Atkinson, ever the enigma, licenses a single sound bit out his chair script for a royalty that funds a youth theatre in Oxfordshire. No press release attached. Welch auctions her microphone from the episode, raising £25,000 for Mind, with the buyer revealed as an anonymous donor who mails it back with a note, "For when words fail, silence speaks." Tabloids track Atkinson's every twitch. A supermarket signing in tweed sparks "Is he smiling?" features, while Welch's dog-walking pics are captioned "Pause for thought." The incident births a new PR metric at the Rowan ratio, measuring guest walkout risk versus rating uplift, now standard in talent booking spreadsheets. Ad agencies pitch campaigns around the power of the pause, using slow-motion replays of Atkinson's exit to sell everything from insurance to herbal tea. One viral spot recreates the scene with puppets. Ben puppet storms off, Welch puppet chases with a tiny couch, ending in a hug to the tune of Ebony and Ivory. The real stars stay mute. Atkinson tending roses, Welch scripting a one-woman show titled "I Pushed a Bin and He Rolled." Industry insiders whisper of a secret pact. Should they ever share a stage again, the first question must be about the weather. In the meantime, the saga monetizes itself into perpetuity, a self-sustaining ecosystem of schadenfreude and sympathy where every retweet is revenue and every think piece a payday. Capitalismo. Thy name is daytime TV drama.